So, I was scrolling through Reddit one day, as one does, and there was a thread on one of the K-pop subreddits that asked a simple question. What is the best debut song of all time? This was nothing abnormal. People ask this question all the time, and the majority of the answers are usually the same. Girls' Generation's Into the New World, SHINee's Replay, 17's Adore You, Stacy's So Bad, Everglow's Bon Bon Chocolat, IZ*ONE's La Vie en Rose, Hypen's Given Taken, NCTU's The 7th Sense, and the list goes on. However, there was one song that has been mentioned multiple times that sparked debate, and I was not surprised that it did. Attention by NewJeans. Of course, the answer would get up votes from the public, but there would also be an occasional, wait, isn't that a pre-debut song along with Hype Boy? Wasn't another song the debut? Because its music video dropped the same day as the album on all streaming and sales platforms? The short answer is yes, but we're not here to give the short answers on this channel. We're here to ask one more important question, maybe. How did the most anticipated debut of 4th gen K-pop girl group music end up being erased as a debut single from everyone's memory banks? How did the bunnies and the rest of the K-pop fandom manage to rewrite history so stone-carvingly hard? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Cait Cher here, and I didn't think I was ever going to come back to this song after doing a freakout on my worst of 2022 list.
Cookie had been advertised for weeks, and fans were excited to hear what it would be about. Personally, a song titled Cookie sounds like a teeny bopper hit from the 50s, but this is South Korea, so who am I to judge?
But we do have to talk about this, not because I'm giving Min Hee-jin attention she obviously doesn't deserve, but it seems that after all the scandals NewJeans survived through, we as a K-pop listening population, I guess, have learned absolutely nothing. As per usual. But before we get to the song that started it all, let's take a quick history lesson, and we're actually starting earlier than you might think. Before Min Hee-jin skyrocketed into infamy as the head of NewJeans' agency Adore, she started her K-pop career in 2002 as a graphic designer for K-pop's juggernaut, SM Entertainment, the Walt Disney Studios of the country's music industry. Although I can't exactly find the exact timeline, she was eventually promoted to art director, which meant she would be more hands-on in the department of marketing the branding of certain groups and their single or album releases or even music videos. For Hee-jin's case, specifically Girls' Generation, SHINee, FX, and as late as Red Velvet. To put it briefly, her role at SM was making sure that each of the groups looked good for each promotion, whether that was for concerts or their comeback/debut. So, yeah, without this woman, the whole idea of making concepts in K-pop wouldn't exist like it does now. Her most recognized works are for FX's Pink Tape album, SHINee's Sherlock comeback, Super Junior's Sorry Sorry, Girls' Generation's The Boys, NCTU's The 7th Sense debut, and Red Velvet's Ice Cream Cake comeback. Now, before everyone goes off on me, no, the Lolita Soli photos are not Hee-jin related. That was an entirely separate issue involving a photographer called Rhoda. I literally couldn't find Min Hee-jin's name attached to the scandalous shoot, so if I said anything before about Hee-jin and the shoot, consider that null and void. The last thing I want to do is spread false information online, especially when it comes to the later part of this video.
Had been known before this mess as the woman who was responsible for FX's highly controversial Lolita concept, which had the members look like the child character from the movie of the same name, which also has controversies in its own right.
What I'm trying to say is that with Hee-jin's work record, she was a true creative staple in the industry. So much so, she was promoted to the board in 2017. However, she did leave SM in 2018 due to burnout, to which, after what I had to deal with from 2020 to 2022, I don't blame this woman for that. However, without leaving SM, what would happen next would never have come to be. For better and for worse. In 2019, Heejin was hired by Big Hit Entertainment to be the company's chief brand officer, and this would be crucial for them. Why? Well, Big Hit was still in the midst of a huge company rebranding. Their OG boy group, BTS, was on top of the world. They just debuted a new boy group, TXT, to build their artist list. They would also buy out Source Music, the home of popular group G-Friend, while also disbanding them at the same time. In 2020, Big Hit would debut Island's show winners into group ENHYPEN. They also bought out Pledis Entertainment, gaining boy group 17 and girl group Promise 9 in the process. They also acquired Cause Entertainment, that was Zico's company. Finally, in 2021, Big Hit would officially become the HYBE Corporation to signify their next big step into the big four of K-pop. This would also be where Heejin rejoins the story. By November, the corporation would appoint Heejin as the CEO of HYBE's new branch, Adore. Because you see, 2022 was going to shake up the entire game for the unexpected. In more ways than one. In 2022, HYBE would announce the debut of 2 girl groups. An announcement like this is already odd enough, because 2 groups debuting around the same time in one giant company is already interesting enough, but the second and third reasons were more prominent. Reason 2, the company had already disbanded G-Friend in the previous year, so buddies were already pretty salty. Also, Promise 9 would be in concern because they were also well liked by the public. Reason 3, these groups would be the first main company girl groups in 10 years. In 2012, Big Hit debuted Glam, but after 2 years and 2 scandals involving different forms of criminal activity from 2 of the idols themselves, Big Hit decided to focus on BTS instead and disbanded the girl group entirely. Now that HYBE was in a better place reputationally and financially, debuting more girl groups just made sense. To semi-quote one of Disney's least annoying sidekick characters. The first girl group they announced was LE SSERAFIM, but that whole story is a separate video in its own right. And the second group, which would be led under Heejin's new branch, was NewJeans, which consisted of the following members, who I will list from eldest to youngest at debut. Trust me, this will be important later, so keep this in the back of your minds. Minji at 18, Hani at 17, Danielle at 17, Hayden at 16, and Haein at 14. At first, people, including myself, thought it would be suspicious that another girl group was debuting right after LE SSERAFIM, and most people believe that to this day it was deliberately done so that people would be distracted from the Kim Garam bullying scandal that was flooding social media at the same time, bringing back the HYBE girl curse from Glam 10 years prior. Yeah, when HYBE wanted to be like SM, they followed their poor scandal handling advice too. If that wasn't clear foreshadowing, I don't know what is. However, that all faded away when on July 22nd, 2022, the song Attention dropped into the airwaves. My opinion on Attention doesn't really matter, as I thought it was just okay. Fans loved it greatly. According to them, they say it's widely reminiscent of 2K pop music. Maybe K-pop 2K makes sense, but I didn't see any Western 2000s pop, which was what I think the listeners meant. You see, I grew up with this in the 2000s decade.
Tried to make me go to rehab. I said no, no, no.
Okay, maybe it slightly sounds like old Beyonce and that one NSYNC song, but otherwise, I don't feel 2K from attention. But at the end of the day, that's not the point. The main reaction fans had was, wow, this is a 4th gen debut? To which Adore replied,
no, it's not. There's more.
Thus, the biggest question mark emoji ever produced was put onto Twitter and Instagram. So you see, prior to 4th gen, pre-debut or comeback releases were a thing, but only some companies or new groups did it as a gift to pre-debut fans or a small get-to-know-me project. It wasn't until this year when pre-releases started becoming more weirdly commonplace. Either Heejin was really hoping to make her first girl group popular, or Hybe really wishes that people would forget the other scandal. After that, a new music video drops for a song called Hype Boy, but it was a solo version of the song by one of the girls. Soon enough, each solo version would drop on the platform. No one knew exactly what was happening, but the big surprise was yet to come. The debut EP, which would drop on August 1st, 2022. So this was the warm-up after all. What could these girls deliver as a true debut single? Oh, the irony, the irony, the irony. One more music video drops, then the intro video, and then the day August 1st arrives. The EP drops. Before we move on though, the thing I want to say about the anticipation of the title track was a celebration like the release of a new Pokemon game. The only hint we were given about the song was a one-word title. Okay, Cookie was kinda weird and a little immature. I mean, yeah, the members were not adults according to the South Korean law, but they weren't like children either. But this is K-pop. Titles are not exactly the most creative things about songs anyway. If the competition for the best song with a specific title is any indication. Now that I think about it, Western song titles are not exactly creative anymore either, but I digress.
What could possibly go wrong?
It only takes time to finally get to August 1st, 2022, but it's the time every K-pop stan has been waiting for. The album drops for sale and streaming pleasure. Most excitedly of all, the music video for Cookie drops on YouTube, and everybody welcomed the track with an overwhelming collective,
"Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god, what is that?"
Honestly, the best thing that could have happened to Cookie was that it had a good beat and K-pop fans would have called it a day. But that's not what happened. What ended up happening was that Hybe was stupid enough to put the translated into English lyrics into the subtitles of the music video. Even Korean-speaking fans on social media said that the song gave them Ramyeon and chill vibes, which was inappropriate considering who NewJeans, the girls, not the group, the girls, are. For those who don't know, Ramyeon and chill means exactly the same thing as what Netflix and chill means, except that's what the people in South Korea use. So let's be clear. Everyone noticed what's going on, and no excuse was going to make minors singing about oral sex okay. What made the situation way more public than it usually would was that this song dropped at the same time Britney Spears was freed from her abusive conservatorship that her parents bombed down on her years ago, and former iKylie star Jeanette McCurdy released her book, I'm Glad My Mom Died, that also exposed the abuse she suffered as a child star by her own mother and the company who was supposed to support her and made her famous. With those recent events, horror stories such as Stellar, Yellowbee, and the entirety of Open World Entertainment, and interviews from second-gen idols warning their younger proteges about the dangers of debuting young in a rigorous and brutal industry, people panicked that NewJeans was going to be the next horror story in the making. Considering what scandals would happen in 2023, who could honestly blame them? As they rightfully should, fans shared their rage about the situation on social media. How dare Min Heejin and Hybe let a bunch of by-law children sing about a topic that shouldn't be expressed by minors in the first place, especially if it's supposed to appeal to older men? Hybe, more specifically Adore, made a statement to appease the angry mob, although we can all agree that at this point, this was to hide the fact that the producers got caught. In their first statement, the higher-ups claimed that Cookie wasn't about sex at all, actually, but about giving CDs to fans instead. The NewJeans girls even repeated this sentiment themselves. Safe to say that no logical person bought this crap. The hyper-attached bunnies, before the fandom name was even coined, wanted to believe that this was true because the girls said it. But they also seem to forget that because the girls are legally underage, or even under contract, I should say, they are required to repeat the scripts that company basically set for them. So even if they wanted to tell the audience the truth, they can't do that without punishment of losing their careers. So NewJeans were screwed either way. Fortunately, the K-pop listening majority clapped back at Adore, more specifically Hybe, for letting this happen. But this was not the only issue that Hybe had to explain. In fact, there were two more incidents. 1. Looking back at NewJeans' promo photos, fans recall that the eldest member, Minji, being photographed in a shirt with the words, "Pimp is yours" on the front. The creator of the shirt clarified that the word pimp was meant as to make something impressive or extravagant, like those car and house shows from VH1 or MTV in the 2000s. But sadly, this is not the 2000s. The English-speaking public doesn't even see that word as any of that anymore. In fact, do I need to explain what the word pimp really means? The second issue comes from Min Hee-jin herself. Netizens dug into her Instagram for dirt, and surprisingly, they found it quite easily. Hee-jin is known for posting pictures of her office, but when zoomed in, netizens noticed disturbing posters and photos from films or advertisements of minor girls in suggestive or undesirable positions for their ages. The most infamous being this poster from an old Italian film that translates to "Love you like your father" in English. Oh, fuck, I almost vomited in my mouth after saying that. And the infamous Brooke Shields Calvin Klein jeans ad. So if this was the kind of behavior that a branch CEO was more than willing to post online without hesitation, NewJeans are in trouble. The excuse Hee-jin gave when called out for this was that the posters were gifts from friends. She didn't purchase or print these herself. Well, what the hell does that say about the industry again?
FBI, open up!
But that leads to the question here. Is Hybe going to do something about this? Well, yes and no. Just like how they handled the Kim Garam situation. Another statement was put out tackling the lyrics again. But somehow, in some mentally unstable way, this was even worse than the first attempt. Basically, Hybe threw the translators under the bus for telling the writers that the word was not a slang word for female genitalia, and they threw the fans under the bus for taking the song the wrong way in the first place.
You serious?
The too long didn't read version, a middle finger, and an essay format. What a way to lose your customers, dog. However, I looked into this statement some more, and I found something incredibly interesting. Hello, this is Adore. Thank you so much for all your interest in sending love to NewJeans since their debut on July 22nd. But wait, didn't Adore say that Cookie was the debut? Wasn't Attention the preview leading up to this? So I think this made me realize that the second statement wasn't really meant as a clarification or an apology either. Adore just rewrote history, and K-pop was going to believe it for the rest of NewJeans' career. Despite that, Cookie is still available on all streaming and purchasing platforms to listen to and buy. The music video is still here, ready for public viewing, and as everyone is aware of, NewJeans is more popular now than they were at Cookie's premiere. Ever since the Cookie scandal, NewJeans has been successful in both recognition and awards gain. Soon as the group released Ditto, it was as if the Cookie scandal never happened. Ditto peaked at number 1 on the Circle chart, OMG peaked at number 2, Super Shy also peaked at number 1, Who a few peaked at number 14, and honestly, I don't remember this being talked about at all, except for the music video, which is basically a retelling of Cupid and Psyche, which rubs some people the wrong way, but nothing rubs people wrongly more than the teasers for ETA, which made a lot of references to ETA, the Spanish terrorist group, which many European listeners did not appreciate. If the cookie scandal reminded us all of anything, the most defensive of stans will basically be the Musketeers for a group as if it's the members who are being attacked, when in reality, what these stans are doing are defending their predators' actions. Heejin is purposely putting NewJeans in this terrible position, all because she now knows that the bunnies are going to come to her rescue, no matter the circumstance. However, if we have learned anything from Six Bomb, The Naked Girls, Lady, Blackpink, or even NMIXX, you can only gimmick as a marketing strategy for so long until the audience starts to get so bored at the mediocrity that it just doesn't deliver anymore. I can't say that NewJeans is on a decline right now because people ate their last comeback like a Cinnabon cinnamon roll. But as I said before, only time will tell where NewJeans will go from here. But all I will say is this. Heejin, I pray to Jesus H. Christ that I will see you suffering in hell one day. And that's it for the video. I know it's a heavy topic, but I've been thinking about this for a long time now, and I hope my 2 cents has made some form of an impact. Well, somehow. If it did, please let me know with likes, comments, and the usual other things. I'm Cait, and it's been real. Ciao!